If you have a startup, stop doing advertising, cold emails, cold calls. It just doesn't work anymore. You probably never did because, well, you're a startup. Okay, if you cannot do those things, then what should you do instead? Before we get into that, first let's discuss why, for example, cold emails don't work. Well, first of all, right now, artificial intelligence, social media marketing agencies, I don't know, software as a service, apps, they're like tons of them right now. They're super popular and people are getting bombarded by those endless emails each single day, and they're just tired of putting them into spam. They don't even read them and they all sound the same, like the structure even generic. Hi, hope you're doing well. I'm from company XYZ. We're offering this piece of shit to solve your problem. No one even cares. And yes, it's a numbers game. Out of like 1,000 or 2,000 emails, you will get like 1 or 2 replies, but you just need to spend too much effort and time to trying to convert them into a paying customer. It's just not worth it. It doesn't work because you don't have the testimonials yet, you don't have the proof, you don't have the demos. You are the startup, you're trying to get your first customers. And cold emails is not the way to do that. We've tried that, many companies tried it before, and a lot of companies are still trying to do that, but just stop. Alright, advertising is a quick fix and you will see some results, but the acquisition cost per customer is just too high, it's just too unreasonable. You're not going to keep up with it. And it doesn't allow you to create that loyal customer base. You're not fostering any loyalty with those customers. They're just coming from a paid ad. But to be honest, you're just another 5-second app to skip before the funny cat video. As a startup, you cannot afford it and you don't have the skills to do that yet because it takes money. Okay, but what about cold calls? Well, when was the last time you received a call? Like, people literally don't call each other anymore. It's either messages or yeah, just messages. If I personally get a call on my phone, 99% chance it's a salesman, and I literally give them like 2 seconds before I hang up. And in those 2 seconds, you have to be really skilled to convince a person to stay on the line with you. But what about traditional ads like brochures, billboards, or like magazine ad? Well, as a startup, can you afford it? And even should you? But to be clear, those methods still can work and they are actually good methods and you actually should be doing them. But not as a startup stage when you're trying to acquire your first customers. It's just too expensive and you cannot do that. In a later stage, when you already have your clients, when you have testimonials, when you build your company a little bit, yes, you absolutely need to do those things. But as a startup, there are other ways for you to get the first clients, and we're gonna talk about this. Okay, the best way to get your first customers is to go through your social networks or your own personal network. Search your old contacts, search your old social media channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, I don't know, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever you have. Take the emails, numbers, and contacts of your friends or people who you know who might be interested in your product. But it's super weird to try to sell your friend your product, so that's not what you're gonna be doing. Instead, you're just gonna shoot them a message and to say like, hey, how you doing? Like, give them a compliment, and then you can kind of slowly transition to your product and say like, hey, I'm doing this startup and we're doing this thing where we offer people to solve problem, fill the blanks. Do you know someone who might be interested in this? But to be clear, you need to offer it for free. To say that you have a few free spaces, but you need people who will give you feedback and stuff like that, because you still need to give it for free. You need to give some to get some. And even if you haven't talked to that person on your network in a while, it's still okay to reach out, because there have been like a number of studies and surveys done, and even if you haven't talked to him or her for a while, it's still totally fine to reach out. They will be very likely to help you out. So ask them if they know someone, ask them to give their contact, because you need someone who will use your product, will give you good feedback, and leave a testimonial. And you didn't even try to sell them anything, you just ask them for referrals. Ask them if they know someone who might use your product. And after you get your first customers, ask them for reviews, for feedback, all of that, but obviously give them for free. But also ask them for referrals, because nothing is more powerful as someone referring you to their friends so that they can also use your product. But that means your product has to be good, because no one's gonna recommend a shitty product to their friends, and they shouldn't. So this way you will actually create a loyal first clients that will use your product, will leave your reviews, and you didn't even spend any money on it. That's awesome. But other things that you should be doing to get first clients, you need to be doing search engine optimization, because you literally need to fight for that place on the first page of Google, so that the engine pushes you out and people click on your link, they see that, all right, I searched for that, and this website matches and probably has what I want, so I can go there and probably sign up for their service. So search engine optimization along with content creation are long games to play, but they're the best kind of growth, because organic growth is literally the best you can do for your brand. You will not see results probably in a while, but when you do, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be totally worth it. So you need to start creating your videos. You need to start writing blogs on your website. You need to start creating some kind of content, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok, because TikTok is actually amazing. You don't have to have followers and you still can get millions of views on your content if it's good content. And if you have 1,000 followers, you can go live on TikTok and it will be constantly pushing you to more people. So that kind of is an example of how organic growth is awesome and how it's gonna help you, and you literally need to do that. And then we started doing organic growth. When you started having loyal customers, then you can spice things up with advertising, cold calls, cold emails, all that stuff, and hopefully you will have an amazing, successful company.